Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. Today's presentation is Infinity's private equity solution in 15 minutes. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce your presenter for today, Business Development Manager for the Financial Services team here at Infinity Infosystems, Corbin Schock.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar, taking some time today to take a look at our solution. Again, this is Corbin Schock with Infinity, and I am the Business Development Manager for our Financial Services practice. Today we're going to dig into Infinity's CRM solution for the private equity industry. So, as you may know, Infinity is headquartered in Manhattan. We've been around since 1987, and a sort of byproduct of that, us having grown up in New York City, is that a large portion of our clients are in the financial services industry. We have over 150 clients in the capital markets space, with about half of those in alternative investments, so things like hedge funds and private equity groups. With over 28 years of experience serving the private equity space, we've built a good amount of IP around common processes and requirements, and that's the solution we're going to be diving into today. Time is money, and no one knows that more than professional investors. However, without knowing a better way, a lot of time is wasted digging for data throughout a multitude of disparate systems, or continuing to carry out a necessary function the quote-unquote way it's always been done, which in some cases actually includes pen and paper. To help your team work together more efficiently, reducing costs across your organization, and better managing your business, we have this solution to propose. So a couple of the functional groups that it's going to touch are the IR team, the deal team, any partners in the firm can get information they need, and also the marketing folks. So this is going to help you improve the capital raising process, help you in your due diligence process while you're evaluating portfolio companies to complete a deal on. It's going to help collaboration in the fact that you can share information very easily across your team without spending too much time in costly update meetings. And it's also going to help your marketing and investor attraction efforts. All right, so without further ado, I want to jump right into the demonstration of the solution. And to do so, I've got a couple different personas that we're going to walk through so that you can see the system from each functional group. So we're going to start off here with Grace. Grace is the head of our investor relations team. And what she needs, she and the rest of her IR team, it's really a 360-degree view. She needs to understand her clients and investors from all angles. Basic information like their phone numbers, their mobile and cell number, email addresses, physical addresses, all that basic info she certainly needs, but also more specific to private equity, she needs to understand the investor account details that they're using to flow money in and out of your firm, and also down to the transaction level details so that she can reactively answer any questions that come in from the investor base. But also she needs the ability to proactively manage any communication that she's responsible for going out, such as monthly statements, K1s, capital calls, and the like. So let's jump into the solution and see exactly what that looks like. So here we have a dashboard. This is a jumping off point for most users of the CRM system. This one's specifically geared for the investor relations team. You can see this is a list of investor accounts. You've got some information in various lists about upcoming capital calls that should be top of mind for the IR team. And just from a navigational standpoint within Microsoft CRM, I want to point out how you get around the system before we dig too deep into the specifics of the private equity solution. So from this top curtain, they call it, you really save a lot of real estate with the way the system navigates. This auto-hide curtain will get you into your functional group that you're a part of. Once you're in that group, you get access to the different entities that are relevant to you. So in the investor relations team, they're certainly concerned with the companies or accounts that they're doing business with, the contacts that they're interacting with at those accounts or companies, and then specific to the PE solution, they need an investor account record to track the investor accounts that are being used to invest into your funds, the underlying specific transactions or investments that are taking place, and then the funds is really an umbrella record so that you can see which investor accounts are related to which funds. So from an IR perspective, again, as Grace, let's say that we're just working through our day, we're in the dashboard right now, but we get a phone call from .NET. You can quickly search the system, jump to her record, so while you're on the phone with her, you have all of her pertinent details right at your fingertips. So the basic summary information about who .NET is, where she's located, how you get in touch with her, that's all front of mind. But really what you're interested in from an IR perspective and a relationship building perspective is this middle social pane, they call it. So while we're on the phone with .NET, we can go back and reference potentially a meeting that took place. We can see that this took place almost 6 months ago. Here's the details of that meeting, what was spoken about, who completed it, any information that might be important. It's right there at our fingertips so that we can answer .NET's question and really be able to reference other phone calls that have taken place throughout our relationship with her and anything that's really transpired. While we're on the phone also, we can certainly add to this list of history items with .NET and fill in whatever information we want, really giving a summary of that phone call, so that now someone else on the IR team or marketing team or partners or deal managers for that matter can come back and reference this conversation that we just had. So while we're on this contact record, I want to point out also the right pane here where you can display some more information related to .NET. Really important to point out is this network subgrid. So connections within CRM are a way of linking different pieces in the database to each other for different reasons. It's really important, especially in PE, such a relationship-driven industry, to understand who knows who and how. So we can see .NET is connected to this California Electric Corporation. Why? It's because she used to work there. And then we can get a quick description to see she was employed there running the pension group from 94 to 99. We can also see she's connected to this John Chilton contact. He influences her, and you can get a little bit more description about why and how that relationship exists. Okay. Just so that you can get a view into it, let's jump to the company record for Access, which is where .NET is an employee. Again, the summary information provides that basic high-level Rolodex info you certainly need at your fingertips, as well as that middle social pane of activities that have happened not just with .NET, but any other contacts that we may know at Access GmbH. Over on the right-hand side, we have some more information, the primary contact and how to quickly get in touch with her, as well as any other contacts that we know. The top displays some other summary information. So all of these forms, keep in mind as we go through the system here in the next 15 minutes, they're very modifiable. You can move fields around, you can add your own, you can change the labels. This is a very flexible system. From a navigational standpoint, again, to see other records related to Access GmbH, we can jump straight to their functional entities. So if I jump across to the investor accounts section, I can see all of the investor accounts that are being held with this firm. Let's jump into it just so you can see the level of detail that we've added to this record. So again, here's the investor account record. It's titled the Retirement System Investor Account. We can see ERISA details, where it's located, any financial information such as the commitment level that they signed up for when they opened the account, any capital calls that have come through, NAV, unfunded commitment. All these financial pieces can be calculated fields that are pulling in from maybe a fund administrator or some other third-party data source. We certainly built those integrations in the past to make this a truly automated system. Other details such as tax implications and filing info that we need are stored on the investor account record. And then really the meat of this is the investments. So what are the individual transactions that have happened where money has flowed through this investor account? Where did it flow to? What fund did it go to? And other details around that. And then that proactive piece of communication that I referenced earlier, here's where you keep track of that. So .NET, you can see, is receiving the K1, the monthly statement, and the capital calls, whereas Jim over there at Access GmbH just needs to receive the monthly statement. All this can be linked to systems that can distribute and automatically provide that investor communication as well. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a quick view into the investor relations world, which was a 360-degree view of your investor accounts, your contacts, the companies you're doing business with, as well as a way to keep track of your proactive communication outward to your investor base. Next scenario I want to run through is Paul. He's the head of the marketing group. And what are marketers responsible for? They're bringing investments into the fund. They're out there promoting the market. They're finding people who want to invest in private equity. So what he really needs is just an easy way to track his pipeline. He needs to know when his investments are hoping to come in and what milestones he needs to achieve to secure those. So any responsibilities he has in the way of tasks, appointments, phone calls, any documents he needs to deliver, that needs to be easily trackable in a CRM solution. So to do that, let's jump back to the home screen here. And I'm going to pull up the pipeline dashboard. And this is just a way of really breaking down your pipeline, understanding what are the potential investments that are coming into our firm. Here's, for example, all of the different opportunities coming into the different funds that we're managing and the different investor accounts that are being used to pull those funds in. All of these dashboards work in this way where you can pop them out and then further filter. So when I click that little list icon, it pulled out all of the opportunities, the individual records that are composing this chart. This is an interactive chart in so much as I can click on any of the pieces and, for example, pull back all of the potential investments that are coming into this specific Cref Galaxy fund. I can go across and see other details, and much like in Excel, I can use filters wherever I see a list view and filter out further if I wanted to say, just show me Brian Ezel's opportunities for the Cref Galaxy fund. To that end, I can build any sort of chart I'd like. This is one that's showing an individual marketing reps pipeline. So for example, really quickly, we can see Chris Call has a couple big opportunities in the Contoso Parachute Fund, as well as in that international fund too. Yeah. So just to demonstrate here how the multi-entity search works and also show you an opportunity record, I'm just going to search for access, and it'll pull back any accounts, contacts, opportunities, investor accounts, any record that has that, and then organize it in this nice return so that I can jump right to the record I want to. I'm going to jump into the opportunity record just so you can see what's on this form. And that's what was composing those lists and charts that we were looking at before. So it's got a similar layout to account and contact that we looked at earlier. Here's all the detail around the opportunity specifically, and then the activities that have gone on to further this investment and secure it. Here we have stakeholders on this specific opportunity, so we can see Donette and Tonette here are working as a team. These are the people that we need to convince to invest in our fund. And what role they have in the decision-making process, and then internally, what is our marketing team? Who are the folks that are really responsible for bringing this one home? Okay. So hopefully that gives you the overview of the marketing functions, which again are really just that ability to eliminate some time-wasting internal updates. So you saw there right in the middle, you've got your opportunity record right in the middle of that. You saw meetings and phone calls that were happening. You don't need to explain that to the whole group. You don't have to ask someone, hey, what's the latest with this opportunity? You can jump right to it and see for yourself and really serve that information. There's also a number of different ways that we showed where you can break down the pipeline and kind of do some analysis on that. All right, and the last scenario I want to run through quickly is from a partner's perspective. So let's say Tony here is a partner in the firm, and what he really needs is just some simple ways to view the business. He needs to gain insights through dashboards and easy-to-read reports. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. We looked at the investor relations dashboard already. We looked at the pipeline dashboard. I'm going to take this opportunity to look at the deals dashboard. So the deal team certainly has their own functions within CRM where they need to do due diligence on the portfolio companies that you're potentially acquiring as a private equity company. And just from Tony's perspective here as a partner in the firm, he can look into this deal dashboard to understand what's happening from a deal perspective. So from just real quickly, as active deals that are currently in due diligence, he can see that the majority of our business is done with growth capital, and there's not a lot going on in refinancing or equity cash out type deals. He can get a full list of all the active deals right here and jump into any that he'd like. You can also take a look back and see what's already been funded. So for a reference standpoint, you can see that just in Q1 of this year already, we funded this Summer Lights deal, and that was a deal that funded for $315 million. Also important for people who manage those high-level relationships to understand is where are these deals coming from. It's good to see here that about half of our deals have come directly from the company. They've been self-originated, whereas a little over a quarter have come from investment banks, and under a quarter of our deals have come from a private equity sponsor. So we need to continue to invest in those relationships. So while we're looking at this from a high-level perspective, I want to jump in quickly to the deal record just so you can see the level of detail stored there at a high level. And I kind of apologize for flying here, but I know we've only got 15 minutes, and there's a lot to cover. So if you do have a desire to dig into this deeper, certainly reach out. We're glad to spend as much time as needed going through all the different levels. But from a deal perspective, again, partner can come in here and see the work the deal team has been doing, what the information is about the financials of this specific deal, a high-level summary of what's going on with this company and why we think it would be a good investment, any activities, appointments, and phone calls that have furthered the deal, who our internal deal team is, who external deal participants are, who introduced us to the deal, also good to know, and then some key dates and financials and other information that you need to track, such as a closing checklist and any document management you need to do to file and complete this deal. Okay. So what we saw there from the partner perspective was really some self-service dashboards, ways to get that information they want without asking 100 people to give it to them. It's very easy to jump into a dashboard, dig around, find the information you're looking for if you want to get down to the detail. So in closing, I want to say thank you for joining, and as a thank you for sitting through this webinar and taking some time to look at our private equity solution, we are offering a Infinity Services Pack. So what that pack is going to include is an assessment of your current processes and systems so that we can potentially find some ways for you to more efficiently manage your business and conduct these marketing, IR, deal team functions using technology. And right now, I will open the floor to any questions that we have.
Thanks for that presentation, Corbin. We do have a couple of questions. Before we dive into them, I just want to remind everybody that if you do have any questions, the question box is in the top right-hand side of your screen, and you can feel free to enter them there. The first question that we have here is this a cloud-based system? My company is very sensitive to this approach.
Yes. So that is a very good question, certainly top of mind for a lot of folks who are evaluating technology these days. And the system I was actually showing you, the live system, that was cloud-based. However, Microsoft CRM allows you the option in deployment methods. So you can deploy through the cloud and have this system sit in Microsoft secure servers, or you can purchase the licensing, bring it on-prem, manage it yourself behind your firewalls, or meeting any sort of IT policies and protocols that you may have in any of your contracts and policy statements. So you do have that option. The system we've deployed in both ways for private equity clients. We've deployed in the cloud, we've deployed on-premise. The solution that I showed today and was walking through was actually cloud-based, but the functionality, navigation would all be the same no matter which method you chose.
The company has CRM 2011. Can we use this solution with our system?
Yes, indeed. So for anyone who's not using Microsoft CRM and has some other application, the individual asking the question was referring to a version number of Microsoft CRM, which we've built this PE solution template that I demonstrated on top of. And yes, we have been developing the solution on top of Microsoft CRM since before 2011. So it is a compatible solution with 2011, 2013, and what I was showing today was 2015.
Well, thanks for that. It looks like that's all the questions for today.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your interest in our private equity solution. This is all my contact information. Again, I was Corbin Schock. Very happy you could all join. Please feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, reach out with any questions, or to take advantage of that offer of the Infinity Services Pack and evaluation for potential using of the Microsoft private equity solution by Infinity. Thanks again, and have a great day.